Friends and Assalamualaikum. Welcome to my channel. I'm your designing developer. My name is Inshal Beg. I am a full stack developer and graphic designer. Today I will show you how to build one social media marketing project, and you can also say tool in React.js. And I hope you will also enjoy this project like I enjoyed my previous projects of React.js and many others of Python which I have just uploaded on AI and data sciences. So now we will be starting with our social media marketing tool which we will be making in React. But first of all, before that, you have to just hit the subscribe button. Then after that, you have to also hit the notification bell, from which you will be getting all the notifications of my video when I will be uploading. And from that, it will be also help for you, and it will be also help for me, because from that you will be earning more new things, more new clones, and more new projects which I will be uploading of many other languages in future, and which I have just already uploaded. You can also check that out. So here now, I think like you don't understand in here also like what we are just making today. So this is a social media marketing tool. Okay, so you can just go to the YouTube and just search about what is social media marketing tool, and you can also go to Google and just write about that. Then it will be given all the information related to that. You can just read, and then you can just understand what is this social media marketing tool. And here, this social media marketing tool which we are making, its name is Hootsuite. You can see that it is just at the top, and it is also having one logo which we will be making here. So here we are getting the platform of that plans, and we are also getting resources. We are getting a login button. After it, we are also getting the start scheduling button here, from which you can just hover on that, and if you press, so it will be taken to the scheduling section. So this is like a website thing, but we call it tool here. You can also say website in short, but if you don't know what to do. So here, if I just show you one thing, like if I scroll down one, but here first of all I'll be hitting refresh. Okay, so I have just hidden refresh, because you can see when I'm just scrolling down, so the word which we have just written here, it was just coming like animation. If I show you, you can see with the help of animation, it is just appearing from right to left. And here also you can see how beautiful it is done. So we have just done that with the help of React left and right animation. If I scroll down again, you can see here it is also then here and then here, and we are getting this section also with the help of React animation. I've also put these logos here. You can take from Google and check that. So here this is a Slack logo, then there is Google news logo, there is Canva logo, and here are many other logos. You can check that out. And here we are also just written connect social network with all your apps, so you can never miss a beat. So this social media marketing is basically a tool from which you can just connect many of your social networks from which you can work with. Like you work with Instagram, so you can connect that, Facebook, then there are Messenger, and there is also WhatsApp. You can also link that. But here, if you are working with PC, means if you are working with computer, so you can't just work with WhatsApp, but you can do that. But many of not people just use WhatsApp on PC. So here, because of that, WhatsApp is not just here, so you can use any other application. So when you're done with that, just if I scroll down here, so we are also getting this section which is also coming with the help of React animation. This thing which is just coming, you can see the dots which is in blue color. So I've just done that with the help of, like you can say, I've just put that with the help of dots, and just I've changed its color here. And then after these, I have just written these dots here before this section which we have just made. So you can see how cool looking is this section. If I scroll down here, you can see there is also this written loved by 10 plus million of the world's best social marketers. So here I've just written randomly, so you can also write your own word which you have to just write. Then there are simply logos of them, and we have just also written bring it all together with the leader in social media management. I've just also written here like a start scheduling. You can do that here. And when you're done with that, we have also written compare plans. You can also compare your plans here which you want to. Then we are getting this section which is called this thing, you can say this black thing, and we are also getting platform plans, enterprise, education, and about us section. We are also getting English language. You can also change here you want to. Then we are getting our Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube section, then Instagram also. So you can see that. Then there is a copyright section which is just randomly you can work with here. So you can see we are also getting, you can download that from App Store or Google Play. So I've just only written that. If I press, so nothing happens. I've just put the logo of that, so it will be just looking good. So you can see till here we have just made it till here. And if I just show you it is responsive or not, you can see it is also a responsive tool. You can see that, which you can just also see in mobile if you want to just do. You can see everything is just responsive here. And if I go to top, so if I just press this section here, it means this burger menu, in which we'll be getting our navbar things which we have written. You can see we are getting all the navbar things, like you can sign up, log. And if I show you the sign up page of that, so I'll be coming here, press start scheduling. So you can see there is loading here, and it will be taken to the here this section, and then here you have to just write your full name, email address, password here, which you have to just write. So it will be just new password, not your email password. Here you can just write any of your password. Then you can just create your account here, and then you can also change the language. If you can't understand English, you can also change it to your own language. And then if I go back here, so you can see again we are on this page, and if I just hover on that, you can see we are getting the plans, platform. You can see you can publish here, engage, monitor, advertise. Then you can also see the analyze still here, what you have just make if you are working with that previously to just here. And you can also just put ads on here if you want to just do marketing of your tool. And then if I just scroll down, you can see there you can also receive message from others people which you are working with. And you can also set your schedule here. You want to just use social media marketing tool, then it will be, if you don't know about that, then it will be just given to the notification of your social media marketing tool from which day you have just set here. If you just forgot about that, then it will be given notification. You can see how cool looking is this tool which we'll be making here. So now we'll be starting to just make that. So for building this tool which we are building, first of all you have to open your cmd, means command prompt, in which we'll be just making this tool. And here I'll be just first of all write some of the codes from which we can just create our React app, in which we'll be writing our all the codes of that. So simply I'll be first of all selecting the location where I have to just download this folder which we are just writing. So here I'll be simply selecting local text E. In smaller you can also say write in capital because nothing happens there. So when I'm done with that, just I'll be now coming here, and then I'll be just writing here like npx, because like I'm telling you, npx is a command from which you can just create your React app, but npm is a command from which you can just run your React app. So we have to just obviously create that. So here I'll be writing npx create, then I'll be writing dash react dash app. So here it is a React app, so because of that I'm writing create React app, because everything is a React app which we are making in React, like React Redux, MERN, and in MERN with the help of R we are getting React.js. Then in React.js also we are getting obviously React.js, and in React Native also, and in React.js also. So here now I will be moving forward. So we are building in, like you can say we are just building it in React.js. So simply I'll be writing social, and here I'll be writing that to like media management tool. So you have to just write like that. So just take care about that. There will be not any of the like above or right, because if you just do that here means I'm just telling about that. If you write social, after you write management, then after that media, and you just do that like that, so here it will be not work. So you have to just write that in sequence, so we can just work with that. So just write it sequence. If you don't do that, that will be given error. And just also write the dash before the letter which you are writing, so it will be just good here, and you can just work with that. So if you are working with like React.js, so just write here after that nothing and press enter. If you are working with React Native, so simply write React Native also after that, so computer can understand it is React Native here. And if you are working with React Redux, so come here, write React Redux here. If you are working with MERN, so simply write MERN here. And then if you are just working with any other language, you can also just write that. But here if you are working with Python or any other one, so you can just only write the code simply. You don't have to just make this React app here to just work with. So simply now I'll be pressing enter because we are just building it in React.js. Press enter now, and you can see it will be take some time to just work with. Still it is just working now. I'll be doing one thing now. Just I'll be minimizing that here, pressing refresh, and I'll be just deleting some of the things here, because some of the things which I don't have to work with, I don't need of them. So here I'll be deleting that. Okay, so just select that here. Okay, so you will be not having these things, but I am having, so because of that I'm deleting that all. Then from here also you can delete that by just selecting that, delete. Here also just it is good. So when you've done with that, just select these alls. So I was just having some of the things which I have to just delete here, so I'll be taking it to recycle bin, and this thing also. So when you've done with that, just you have to do one thing now. Just take this thing also to recycle, and here thing also. So just you have to do one thing now. Press right click on your recycle bin and empty all the things here which you are having. So it is good now. You can work with that. So here I'll be taking all the things to just in a space which we are having, selecting that and taking that here. So you can see we are just having that things, and I'll be deleting this Slack clone logo also, because here I have to not work with that. Selecting that and taking that to here and refreshing that. So you can see till here we have defined many things. Now just I'll be opening my VS Code, in which I'll be just do my coding. So just open that by writing VS Code, or you can also write Visual Studio Code, just full form of that, and then open that. So now here you can see it will be take some time to just open, so you have to just wait till it is just opening. So you will be having also like a screen like that if you're opening first time, because it will be take some time to just open that here. So you can see it is just now opening, and now you can see it is open. So here I'll be closing the both files which I have to work with, because here I don't need to work with these files. Okay, so my computer is still lagging here. Okay, so it will be good now because my Visual Studio Code, I have just opened that after till here. So I have not opened that still from many days. So here if I scroll down, you can see we are getting this social media management tool which is just now installing. I'll be closing that here. Okay, so till here we are getting our things which we need to. So simply now I'll be closing that, and if I move to my extension tab, you can see from here you can download some of the extension which you need to work with. Like you can also work with your own extension of your color theme if you want to just work with, or there are many other color themes extraction, you can say extension, which you can just work with here. So still it is downloading. I'll be showing you one of the best color theme, which in my opinion it is good color theme, which you can just use to change your background of Visual Studio Code. So just open this material theme here. So you can see this is the material theme which you can download and just work with that, because this is the best color theme which I've just seen in Visual Studio Code. But there are many other color themes also which you can work with, but my opinion is to just install this one because it is just having a good version, and it is the most epic theme now for Visual Studio Code. You can see here it is also written. So because of that I'm saying to just install that, and you can see there is also not installer showing because it is just having 1 billion above installers here. So just please install that here, my opinion is, because here it is really good theme which you can just use. And if I show you like what colors you will be having when you will be installing that, just for seeing that you have to go and press this settings icon which is just down enough at the sidebar tag. Press that and just go to color theme, and you can see in this color theme you will be just having material theme, darker material theme, darker high contrast, then high contrast ocean high contrast, pale night, and pale night high contrast. You can also see that I've installed many other color themes. So these are the color themes here which is just randomly provided from Visual Studio Code. But this material theme, lighter, high contrast, and this one color theme I've just installed that. If I show you at the top it is, so you can see this is also a good color theme which you can just work with, because it is also having a good installers. Here you can work with that, but here it is only having a two qualities color theme, like it is only having light and dark color theme. But I just want to just work with ocean pale night color theme, so because of that I install material theme. So you can also want to just work with this light or dark color theme, you can install this one color theme to work with that. If I scroll down here, you will be also having one color theme which is called bracket pair colorizer. So this color theme is not a color theme here, it is color theme for your text and codes. When you write code, so you can see when we just write that, so simply that color changes sometimes, like it changes into green, yellow, light blue, or dark blue, and sometimes it's also changing purple. So because of this pair colorizer which you are having in your extension tab, from that it changes its color. So this is also a good bracket pair colorizer which you can just install and change your tag or code color which you are just writing in your Visual Studio Code or any of your file. And it's also just change the color related to your language, like if you are working with Python, JavaScript, or any other language, so it will be also changing the color related to that. So you can see how useful is that to work with. So just you can also install that and work with that here. So you can see there is also showing the like examples of that, how it will be just changing when you will be writing. If I scroll down, you can see. So here like that you can work with that. So simply if I move to this file and check my folder is installed or not, you can see now my folder has been installed and I can work with that. So now I'll be closing command prompt, because still here now I don't have to work with this command prompt now. Closing that here. Then I'll be just going to file and just pressing open folder. Okay, so I'm pressing open workspace. So just open folder, you have to simply press local disk C. So I was just already selecting that. So here I'll be moving top. You can see there it is, social media management tool which I have to work with, selecting that here and pressing select folder to work with that. So you can see now my folder has been selected and I can just work with this social media management tool here. So first of all, in this social media management tool, you can see we are getting our node modules folder, public folder, and source folder. So I hope you understand these three folders, because also I'm telling you many times what these three folder does and what they are just containing in that. So you can also check my previous video if you learn about that, because I've telling many times in my previous videos like what they do and what work of them is. So here I'll be opening the source folder now, because here I have to work with that. Simply I'll be erasing these three files from here, app.test.js, logo.svg, like I do in many of the clones also which we have just worked previously. pressing right click, and here I'll be just pressing delete, or you can also press from your keyboard delete, so it will be deleting that. Press delete, all the things I've deleted, and I'll be also emptying that from my recycle bin, so it will be just delete in my, now it is not in my computer, it is deleted permanently, because when you delete anything here, so here it is just go to recycle bin. So if you want to delete that permanently directly, so press shift and delete, there it will be just deleting permanently. So when you've done with that, now just simply I'll be opening app.js file, zoom in so you can see the codes, and I'll be deleting all the things in that also, this div, because here I don't have to work with these codes, which is just written underneath this div tag. And I'll be also deleting this logo.svg file, because it is a React logo and I don't need a React logo, and it is just already have been deleted. So here I'll be just pressing backspace to just erase that, and here I'll be also pressing backspace because it will be just going to top. Go to file, press save button, and it is good. So I'll be now scrolling down in here. First of all, I'll be coming, writing that to a tag which will be just like navbar, and here I'll be writing app equal class, then I'll be closing that, and here I'll be just moving, writing this to like this curly bracket here, and I'll be writing app dot navbar, then I'll be changing that to class. So when you're done with that, now here I'll be closing this bracket, then I'll be coming here, writing that to like app, then here I'll be writing class, and here I'll be writing app again, but now here after that class I'll be writing that in two brackets, then I'll be just writing curly bracket again, changing that to floor dot, and I'll be writing that to navbar, but here we have just already written, so because of that I'll be writing here array dot div, then I'll be closing. So after that I'll be writing floor, then here I'll be writing that to class. So when you've done with that things, now simply I'll be coming underneath, writing that to a tag which will be like here address, then I'll be just writing that to like app, but the spelling is incorrect, so just I'll be writing D here, then I'll be moving here, writing that to array, closing this tag here, and writing curly bracket again, changing that to a tag which should be like address dot, change that to like div dot floor. Just close this bracket here, this curly bracket, coming underneath here, writing that to a tag which will be like animate. Moving forward, there I'll be writing that to like, you can say array, here I'll be writing array now. Okay, so here I'll be not writing array, I'll be writing area, then just I'll be coming here, and then here I'll be just changing that to a tag which will be area, then closing that, writing that to a tag which will be like floor dot area, writing dot, and then I'll be changing that to animate. Just you have to close this bracket, this curly bracket, then I'll be just coming underneath here, and then I'll be just writing this curly, means this tag I'll be opening that, then here I'll be writing that to a tag which will be like array, and then I'll be writing animate equal address, which should be in double quote, so here I'll be making that, then I'll be writing address, closing this, and now making another curly bracket here which should be just opened, then I'll be writing that to like div dot, then I'll be writing that to like another thing which should be array, and then I'll be writing this, before that I'll be writing like that, then I'll be writing dot floor. So simply I'll be coming here, writing floor dot array. So here now I'll be closing this, then I'll be just coming underneath, and just I'll be changing that to a tag which will be like area, then I'll be writing that to like a tag which will be just like class, which we have just already done. Okay, so I'll be writing all equal, means this two quotes, then I'll be writing back, and just I'll be closing this, and I'll be just making this curly bracket here, changing that to a tag which will be like another tag which will be class dot, and I'll be writing that to floor dot animate. So just I'll be writing that, but here I'll be not writing that, simply I'll be changing that to floor, but we have already done, so I'll be writing random here. So when you're done with that, just I'll be closing this curly bracket here, and then I'll be coming underneath and changing that to a tag which will be like call, then I'll be moving forward there and changing that to like class equal, and when you've done that, just we have just already done that, so because of that now I'll be just changing that to a tag which should be like filter equal, then I'll be writing that to like import, so here I'll be writing that, then I'll be just closing this tag here, and then I'll be doing one thing now, just I'll be opening this curly bracket here, and I'll be changing that to a tag which will be like floor dot app, and here I'll be writing dot import, then I'll be closing this curly bracket here, and I'll be saving that. Simply when you've done with that, just now I'll be doing one thing now, coming here, writing dot, and here I'll be writing export. Okay, so there is coming error again, so I have to check that why it is just coming error. Okay, so if I do one thing now, if I write back here, then if I write all tag here, so now you can see it is just still having, so just don't care about that. Now when you're done with that, just simply move to app.css and delete all the things in that, because I don't have to work with that. I'll be working with my own CSS tags which I'll be writing, and erase that here, also erase, save that here, move to app.css file now. Then I'll be just coming underneath and I'll be just changing that to a tag which should be just like transfer, and here I'll be writing that to a tag which will be just like export equal. Then I'll be writing that to the tag which will be like another tag which will be called, but we have just already done, so simply I'll be writing floor, closing that here, opening this curly bracket and changing that to like transfer. And when you're done with that, just I'll be writing dot, writing floor here, then I'll be writing that to a tag which will be just like now call. So just I'll be closing this now. Then I'll be doing one thing, just I'll be coming underneath here, writing that to like a tag which will be filter find equal. Then I'll be changing that to export, and here I'll be just closing this and moving and opening my curly bracket here. So when I'm done with that, just I'll be writing that to a tag which will be like area dot filter dot floor. Just now here I'll be closing, but here I'll be now writing filter, and here I'll be writing floor. So here when you've done that, just I'll be now closing this curly bracket. So when you've done with that, just I'll be coming underneath, then I'll be just changing that to a tag which should be fine. Then I'll be writing that to like export, but we have written that, so I'll be writing that to import. And here I'll be coming and changing that to a tag which will be just like array, we have already written. So now just I'll be changing that to filter. So if I do that now, closing this bracket here, and then I'll be opening this curly bracket and changing that to like div dot, and then I'll be writing a tag which will be like find dot floor dot end. So just I'll be closing this curly bracket here. Then when you're done with that, just now I'll be coming underneath, and here I'll be changing that to like article. So just write that. Then I'll be changing that to a tag which will be just like found equal, and then write that to a tag which will be now. Okay, so here now when you've done that, just I'll be writing internal, then I'll be closing that, and here I'll be writing floor dot internal, then I'll be writing dot, and I'll be writing article in small. Then I'll be closing this curly bracket here, saving that, and when you've done with that thing, just simply I'll be moving to app.css. So here I have to import some of the things here before that. So here I'll be writing import script from scripts, closing that, writing that to import statement. So here I'll be writing that from statement. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be closing this now. So when you've done that, just go to file, press save, open app.css, write this tag, because now this tag means you are defining all the things in your app.js file, or if you are working with HTML, so it means like you are defining all the things in your HTML file. So still we are working with React and JavaScript, so here I have to define my app.js file, coming underneath, writing that to like margin 0 pixel, create padding 0 pixel. When you're done with that, just now here I'll be writing box sizing, border box, create text, align in center. When you're done with that, just write that to like display block, create that to a tag which will be like floor in left, and here I'll be writing that to a tag which will be like font style normal. And when you're done with that thing, just I'll be coming underneath, writing that to like text justify inherit, and here I'll be writing that to like font size 15 pixel, create font weight which will be 500. And when you've done that, just I'll be writing that to like font family Montserrat, sans serif. So when you've done with that thing, just I'll be now writing border 1 pix solid white, and here I'll be writing that to like border color which should be white, and here I'll be writing that to like color black. And when you're done with that thing, just I'll be now writing border radius 10 pixel, create that to like border left 100 pixel. Here now I'll be writing border right 100 pixel. And when you've done with that, just now here I'll be writing border top 100 pixel, create that to a tag which will be border bottom 100 pixel. So when you've done with that, just I'll be writing border style none, create border width now 100 pixel. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be now writing line height 100 pixel, create width 100 pixel, and here I'll be writing height 100 pixel. So when you're done with that, just I'll be writing that to like border none. Then here I'll be writing that to like outline none, and just write that to like list style none. And when you've done that, just I'll be writing list style type, which should be none. So when you've done with that, just I'll be writing flex direction, which should be column, and here I'll be writing flex wrap reverse. And when you've done with that thing, just I'll be writing that to like flex flow column. So when you've done with that, just I'll be writing that to like flex grow inherit. So just I'll be writing that, and here I'll be writing flex shrink inherit. So when you've done that, just I'll be now writing direction inherit. So now here I'll be changing that to like background white, and then when you've done with that, just I'll be now writing background color white. Create that to like background attachment, which should be fixed. And when you've done with that, just I'll be now writing background size cover, and just I'll be now changing that to a tag, which should be like background origin content box. Create background clip, which should also be content box. And when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing background blend mode color burn, and here I'll be writing background repeat now. So just change that to like repeat. So here when you're done with that, just I'll be coming here writing background image, and then I'll be writing URL of like background. Here I'll be writing two quotes, then I'll be writing background.jpg, closing that here, writing nav index current, and here I'll be writing nav lab current. And when you're done with that, just I'll be writing nav right current. And when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing that to like nav up current, and create that to like nav down, which should be current. So when you're done with that thing, just now here I'll be writing padding 14 pixel, create that to like padding left, which should be 14 pixel. So just I'll be writing that, change that to like padding right 14 pixel, and here I'll be just doing one thing like padding top 14 pixel, and here I'll be writing padding bottom 14 pixel. When you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing margin 10 pixel, create margin left, which should also be 10 pixel. So when you're done with that, now just I'll be changing that to margin right 10 pixel, create margin top 10 pixel, create margin bottom 10 pixel. So when you've done with that thing, just I'll be moving here and saving that, and just move to app.js file, and then I'll be just coming underneath and changing that to like found, and I'll be moving forward, writing here like external equal. Okay, so here I'll be writing internal equal external, then I'll be just writing this tag, and I'll be writing this bracket means curly bracket, and changing that to a tag, which will be like a tag which will be external dot, write that to like a tag which will be floor dot form. Then I'll be just closing this curly bracket here, and when you're done with that thing, just I'll be now coming here and changing that to a tag which will be like script. Then I'll be writing statement equal, then change that to a tag which will be like here I'll be now writing import. Then we have just already done that, so I'll be writing script equal statement. So if I do that now, just here I'll be writing statement, and then equal to I'll be writing script. So now it is good. So here I'll be now closing this bracket, and then I'll be just writing this curly bracket here, writing here like floor dot get dot script. So just I'll be writing dot script, then just change that to like article, but we have just also written that. So here I'll be writing internal dot external. So just I'll be closing this curly bracket, then go to file and press save button, and you can see we have just defined that all things, and now it is done. So when you've done with that thing, just I'll be doing one thing, just I'll be coming underneath here, and here I'll be writing that to a tag which will be like just I'll be changing that to like argument. So here write that, and here I'll be just moving forward, changing that to a tag which will be just like script equal statement. So just I'll be writing that. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now writing this bracket and changing that to like script dot statement again. So just I'll be writing that, and here I'll be writing dot floor. Then I'll be just closing this, and now you can see we have just defined that all thing. So when you've done with that, just you have to do one thing, go to file, press save button, or you can also save as if you don't do till here. So now when you've done with that thing, just you have to do another thing like, so now here you can see we have just defined that all things here. So now I'll be doing one thing, just I'll be moving to app.css. So here we have just defined this tag, which means like we have defined all the things in our app.js file. So here I'll be scrolling down. Then when you've done with that things, now we have to just define a body tag here, because then when we'll be defining body tag, after it we'll be defining our classes which we have written in app.js. So just simply come here, write here body. So here it is not any of the class, so because of that I'm not writing any of the dot in the starting. So here I'll be writing just this curly bracket and coming underneath, writing that to like justify content. Here which should be in center. Then I'll be writing that to like align items which should be in center. So just write that. Now when you're done with that thing, just I'll be now changing that to like display of block. Then I'll be writing text align in center, and then I'll be just changing that to a tag which will be just like float into left, and here I'll be writing box sizing border box, just change that to like font style normal, and then I'll be writing tags justify inherit. So just write that. So when you're done with that thing, just write that to like font size which should be 14 pixel, create font weight which should be like 500, create font family which should be like Monsieur, and I'll be writing that to like comma sans serif. So when you're done with that things, now just I'll be coming here, writing that to like border one pick solid white, change that to like border color which should be white, change color which should be black. So when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing border radius 10 pixel, create border left which should be 100 pixel, create border right which should be also 100 pixel, and when you're done with that, just I'll be writing border top 100 pixel. Then I'll be writing border bottom, so I'll be writing that which should be 100 pixel. And when you're done with that, just I'll be now changing border style which should be none, so I'll be writing that, and here I'll be writing that to like border width here which should be 100 pixel. Then I'll be writing line height which should be just 100 pixel, so here I'll be writing that. And when you've done with that thing, just I'll be now writing width 100 pixel, create height 100 pixel. So here now I'll be writing that to like border none, so I'll be writing that. Then I'll be writing that to like outline which will be none. So here I'll be now changing that to a tag which should be like list style none, and here I'll be writing list style type which should be none. So when you've done with that thing, just I'll be now writing flex direction which should be like column. Then I'll be writing flex wrap which should be wrap reverse. And when you're done with that, just I'll be writing flex flow column, create flex basis content. And here when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing flex grow inherit. Then I'll be writing flex shrink inherit. So when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing direction inherit, and here I'll be changing that to a tag which will be like background white, so I'll be just writing that. And here I'll be writing background color, so just write that which should be white. So when you're done with that, just now here I'll be changing that to like background position which should be center, and here I'll be changing that to like background position dash x which should be in center. Then just write here like background position y which should be in center. So here, so first of all I'll be just going to top, and I have to check one thing here, like we have not written background. So here I'll be writing now background position in center. Then I'll be writing that to like background position dash x which should be in center, create that to like background position dash y which should be in center. So just I'll be now closing this tag. So when you're done with that, now just I'll be coming underneath, and then I'll be just writing that to like background attachment which should be fixed. So here I'll be writing that. So when you're done with that thing, just now here I'll be writing that to like background size cover, and here I'll be changing that to a tag which will be just like background, change that to like background repeat which will be repeat, and here I'll be writing background clip which will be content box, create background origin which will be like content box. Then I'll be writing background blend mode which will be like color burn, so just first of all write that. Then I'll be writing, now when you're done with that, just here I'll be writing background image, and here I'll be writing URL, and here I'll be writing double quotes writing background. And if I go to top, you can see there it is written background. So here I'll be writing background 1.jpg. So when you're done with that, closing that here, writing that to like nav index current. So here just I'll be writing that, and here I'll be changing that to like nav left here which should be like current. So when you're done with that, just I'll be coming here writing that to like nav right current, create nav up which should be current, and here I'll be also writing that to like nav down current. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing padding 12 pixel, create that to like padding left 12 pixel. Here I'll be writing padding right, which should be 12 pixel. So when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing padding top 12 pixel, create padding bottom. So just I'll be writing that here, which should be 12 pixel. So when you're done with that, now here I'll be writing margin 11 pixel, create margin left, which should be also 11 pixel. So when you're done with that, now here I'll be writing margin right 11 pixel. So just when you're done with that thing, now here I'll be changing that to like margin top, which should be like 11 pixel, and here I'll be writing margin bottom 11 pixel. So when you're done with that thing, just now here when you're done with that, just I'll be doing one thing like, so till here we have just done that. So now I'll be moving to app.js file now, and now we have done with our body tag. So here I'll be just doing one thing like, I'll be coming here, then I'll be changing that to like animate. So just write that here, then write here like webkit equal, and when you've done that, just I'll be writing this thing like this, two quantities, or you can say two comma like thing. Then I'll be just coming here and changing that to a tag, which should be webkit. Here also closing and writing here like webkit dot floor dot script dot statement. And when you've done with that thing, just I'll be doing one thing like, I'll be closing that simply. So when you've done with that, just I'll be saving that here. So just press save button. Then here I'll be raising that because we have this already written, and then I'll be just changing that to a tag, which will be just like webkit. Then you can see we have done with that. So here I'll be saving that, and now here when you've done with that thing, just I'll be raising this one from here. So now it is done. So when you've done that, I'll be copying my first class name, which is just here, by pressing Ctrl C, and then I'll be just moving to my app.css file. Here just move on that, and then here I'll be just doing one thing like, I'll be coming underneath, and then I'll be writing dot. So here I'll be just pasting my class name, which I have just copied, by pressing Ctrl V. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now writing this curly bracket here, and then I'll be just coming underneath and changing that to a tag, which should be just write justify content, which should be in center. Then write that to like align items in center. So when you're done with that, just I'll be writing display block, create that to like text align in center. And here we are also not using any of the Firebase, because it does not need any of the Firebase to just work with. So simply we are just working randomly here, and in social media marketing tool we don't have to just work with any Firebase or any other extension which you just want to work with. So these things which we are have to work with extensions, we just do that in clones or any other project related to React. So this shall be coming underneath, writing that to like box sizing, border box, create float into left, and here I'll be writing that to like text align in center. Then when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing font style normal, and here I'll be writing that to like text justify inherit. And when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing that to a tag, which should be font size 14 pixel, create font weight 500. Then I'll be writing that to like font friendly, font serif, comma sans serif. And here I'll be writing that to like border 1 pixel solid white. And when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing border color white, then create that to like color black, and then I'll be changing that to a tag, which will be just like border radius 10 pixel. And when you're done with that, just I'll be writing border left 100 pixel, create that to like border right 100 pixel. And here when you're done with that thing, just I'll be doing one thing like writing border top 100 pixel, change that to border bottom, which should also be 100 pixel. So when you're done with that, just now here I'll be writing border style none, and here I'll be writing that to a tag, which should be just like border width 100 pixel. And here I'll be writing line height, which should also be 100 pixel. So when you're done with that, just now here I'll be writing width 100 pixel, create that to like height 100 pixel. So when you're done with that, just I'll be writing border, which should be like none. Then here I'll be writing that to like outline none, create that to like list style none. And here I'll be writing list style type, which should be none. So when you're done with that thing, just now here I'll be writing flex, just create that to like flex direction, which should be like column. So here when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing flex wrap here. So just I'll be writing that, which should be wrap reverse. So here I'll be now writing wrap reverse. So when you're done with that, just I'll be writing flex flow column, create flex spaces content, create flex grow inherit, and then I'll be just writing that to like flag string inherit. So when I'm done with that, just I'll be now writing direction inherit, create that to another tag which will be like background white. So just when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing background color which should be white, and then when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing background position which should be in center, and then I'll be writing that to a tag which should be just like background position x which should be in center. When you're done with that thing, just I'll be now writing background position y, so just write that here which should be in center. So when you've done with that things, now just here when you've done that, I'll be now coming underneath writing that to like background attachment which should be now fixed, and here when you've done that, just here I'll be writing background, and here I'll be changing that to like background size cover, create that to a tag which should be just like background clip content box, create that to like background, and here I'll be writing background origin content box, so I'll be just writing that. So when you're done with that thing, just here I'll be now writing background, and then I'll be changing that to like background repeat which will be repeat, change here like background blend mode color one. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing that to a tag which will be just like background, and here I'll be writing background image having the URL, and here I'll be writing this to like a thing, and then I'll be just going to top, and you can see we have just written background 1. So here I'll be writing background 2.jpg, close that, and then I'll be writing nav index current, and here I'll be writing nav left here which should be current, and when you're done with that, just I'll be writing nav right current, and here I'll be writing nav up which should be current. So when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing nav down which should be current. So here I'll be just changing that to what I which should be like padding 15 pixels, so just write that, and write that to like padding left which should be also 15 pixel, and when you're done with that, just I'll be writing padding right 15 pixel, create that to like padding top 15 pixel, and when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing padding bottom 15 pixel, create margin which should be like 10 pixel, and when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing margin left which should be 10 pixel. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be now writing margin right 10 pixel, create margin top which should also be 10 pixel. So when you're done with that thing, just now here I'll be coming writing margin bottom 10 pixels. So till here we have done. So now I'll be just going to file, and then I'll be pressing save here. So when I'm done with that, just if I move to this app.js file here, I'll be copying this app class after that. Then I'll be just pressing Ctrl C here to just copy that. Go to app.css file, then I'll be just coming underneath writing dot and pasting my class name which I have just copied. Then I'll be just writing this curly bracket here, coming underneath writing that to like justify content which should be in center, and here I'll be writing align items which should be in center, so just I'll be writing that. So when you're done with that, just I'll be writing display which should be of block, create text align in center, and here I'll be just changing that to a tag which should be like float into left, and here I'll be writing box sizing which should be border box. Then I'll be changing that to a tag which should be just like font, but we have just written that, so simply I'll be writing text align which we have just already done. So here I'll be now writing font style normal. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing text justify inherit, and here I'll be writing that to like font size 15 pixel, create font weight which should be like 500, and when you're done with that, just I'll be writing font family font Siraj sans serif. So when you're done with that, just I'll be writing border 1 pixel solid white. Here I'll be writing that to like border color which should be white. So when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing border radius 10 pixel, create that to like border left 100 pixel. So here when you're done with that thing, just I'll be coming here writing that to like border right 100 pixel, and here when you've done that, just I'll be writing border top 100 pixel, create border bottom, so just I'll be writing that which should be 100 pixel. Then I'll be writing that to a tag which should be like border style none, and here I'll be writing border, change that to like border width 100 pixel, create line height which should be like 100 pixel, and then I'll be writing width 100 pixel, height 100 pixel, create that to like but first of all here I'll be now coming writing color which should be black, then here I'll be writing border which should be like none. So just I'll be writing that. And when you're done with that, now just I'll be writing that to like outline and create that to like list style, which should be like none. So when you've done that, just I'll be moving top, closing this tag also, coming underneath writing list style type none. So when you've done that, just I'll be writing that to like flex direction column. So here I'll be writing. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now writing flex wrap, which will be wrap reverse, and then I'll be writing flex flow column. So just I'll be writing that, and when you're done with that, just I'll be writing flex basis content create flex, and then I'll be changing that to like another tag which will be like flex grow inherit, and then I'll be writing that to a tag which will be like flex shrink inherit create direction, which should also be inherit. So when you've done with that thing, just I'll be doing one thing like I'll be coming here writing that to like background which should be white, and here I'll be writing background color which should be white. And when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing background position in center create background position X. So just I'll be writing that to a tag which will be like background, and then I'll be writing that to like background position dash X, which should be now in center. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be doing one thing like I'll be closing that, coming underneath writing that to like background position dash Y, which should be in center. Then I'll be writing background attachment which should be fixed. So here when you've done that thing, just I'll be writing background size cover. So when you've done that, just I'll be now writing background clip content box, and here I'll be writing background origin which should also be content box. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing background repeat which should be repeat, and here I'll be writing that to a tag which should be like background blend mode color band. And when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing background, change that to background image now having the URL, writing this to bracket, and then I'll be writing this to parentheses in that. Then if I move to top, you can see there it is written background 2. Then here I'll be just coming underneath writing that to like background 3.jpg, and when you've done that, just I'll be closing that here, writing nav index which should be current, and when you've done that, just I'll be writing nav left which should also be current. So when you've done that, just I'll be now writing nav right current, and here I'll be writing nav up current. So when you're done with that things, just I'll be writing that to like nav down which should be current, and when you've done that, just I'll be writing padding which should be 15 pixel, create padding left which should be 15 pixel, then I'll be writing padding right. So just write that here, it should also be 15 pixel. So when you're done with that, just I'll be writing padding top 15 pixel, create padding bottom which should be 15 pixel, then I'll be writing that to like margin 11 pixel, create margin left which should be 11 pixel, and here I'll be writing that to a tag which should be like margin right 11 pixel. So when you're done with that, just I'll be writing margin top 11 pixel, then create margin bottom 11 pixel. So when you've done that, just I'll be going to file, and I'll be just pressing save here, and you can see we have just done with that. So we have defined many of the class. Then I'll be moving to app.js file and copying this array here which is just written by pressing Ctrl+C. When you've done with that, move to app.css file again. Then here I'll be just coming underneath, and then I'll be doing one thing, writing dot and pasting my class name which I've just copied. Then here I'll be just writing this curly bracket coming underneath, changing that to like justify content in center, create align items. So just I'll be writing that it should be in center, and here I'll be writing that to write display it should be a block, create text align in center, and here I'll be writing float into left, create box sizing border box. And when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing font style normal. So when you're done with that things, just I'll be now first of all coming here, writing that to like text justify inherit, create font size which should be 40 pixel, create font weight which should be 500, and here I'll be writing font family which should be like Montserrat, and here I'll be writing comma sans serif. So when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing that to like border one click solid white, and here I'll be writing that to like border color which should be white. So when you've done that, just I'll be now writing border radius 10 pixel, create that to like border left 100 pixel. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be now writing border right which should be just like 100 pixel, and then I'll be writing that to like border top 100 pixel. So when you've done that, just change that to like border bottom 100 pixel. So here we have done that. So just now here I'll be writing that to a tag which should be like border style none, and here I'll be writing border, and then change that to a tag which should be like border width 100 pixel, create line height which should be 100 pixel, create color, and here I'll be just changing that to like black. So when I'm done with that thing, just now here I'll be coming underneath, and here I'll be just changing that to a tag which will be just like width 100 pixel, create that to like height. So I'll be just writing that simply which should be also 100 pixel, and when you've done that, just I'll be now writing border none, create that to like a tag which should be like outline none, create list style which should be none. So when you've done that, just I'll be writing list style type should be none. So when you're done with that thing, just here I'll be writing flex direction column. So when you've done that, just I'll be writing flex wrap which should be wrap reverse, and then I'll be writing flex flow column, create flex, and I'll be changing that to like flex basis content, create flex, change that to a tag which should be like flex row which should be inherit. And when you're done with that, just I'll be doing one thing like here I'll be writing flex string inherit, create direction inherit, and here I'll be changing that to a tag which should be like background, and it should be just white, and here I'll be changing that to a tag which should be like background color white, and then I'll be writing background position in center, and then I'll be changing that to a tag which should be like background position dash x which should be in center, and here I'll be writing background position dash y which should be in center. And when you're done with that, just I'll be writing background attachment fixed, and here I'll be writing the tag which should be like background size cover. And when you're done with that thing, just here I'll be writing background, change that to a tag which should be like background clip which should be content box. And when you're done with that, just I'll be writing background origin content box, and here I'll be writing that to a tag which should be like background, and here I'll be changing that to like background repeat which should be repeat. And here when you've done that, just I'll be writing background blend mode. So here I'll be writing that which should be color one, and when you've done with that thing, just I'll be writing background image. Here I'll be writing URL, then I'll be writing two brackets and you can say comma again. Then you can see there it is written background 3. So here I'll be writing background 4.jpg. Close here, come underneath, create nav index current, and here I'll be writing nav left current, and here I'll be also writing that to like nav right current. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing nav up current, and here I'll be writing nav down which should be current. So here now I'll be just changing that to a tag which should be padding 14 pixel, and here I'll be writing that to like padding left 14 pixel, and here I'll be writing that to a tag which should be like padding right 14 pixel, create padding top which should also be 14 pixel, and here I'll be writing padding bottom which should be 14 pixel. Then I'll be writing margin 10 pixel, so I'll be just changing that to a tag which should be like margin left 10 pixel, and here I'll be just writing a tag which should be like margin right which should be 10 pixel, and here I'll be writing margin top 10 pixel, and just I'll be doing one thing like writing that to like margin bottom 10 pixel. So just write that, and when you've done with that, just I'll be doing one thing here, erasing the I here and writing that here. So you can see till here we have just done with that thing. So here I'll be just moving to file, then I'll be just pressing save here. So just go to save and press that. So till here when you've done with that, just you have to move to app.js file again. Then when you've done that, just copy this area class here by pressing Ctrl C. So press that here. So when you've done with that, now just you have to move to a app.css file. Then I'll be just coming underneath, and here I'll be just writing dot, pasting my class name which I have just copied, making this bracket here, curly bracket coming underneath, writing that to like justify content. It should be in center, create align items which should be in center, and here I'll be writing that to like display which should be of block. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing that to a tag which should be right text align center, create that to like float into left, and when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing display which should be of block which we have just already done. So here I'll be now writing box sizing border box. So here I'll be now just coming underneath, changing that to a tag which should be right font style normal, and then I'll be writing text justify which should be inherit. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be now coming here and writing that create font size which should be 14 pixel, create that to like font weight which should be 500, and then I'll be writing font family which should be like Mont Serif. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing comma sans serif. So when you've written that, just now here I'll be writing border 1 pic solid white. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be doing one thing like here I'll be now writing border color which should be just white. So here I'll be writing that, and here I'll be writing color black. And now when you've done with that, just I'll be now writing border radius 10 pixels. So just I'll be writing that, and here I'll be changing that to a tag which should be like border and left 100 pixel, create that to like border right 100 pixel, and then I'll be writing that to like border top which should be 100 pixel, and then I'll be writing border bottom 100 pixel. And when you're done with that, just I'll be writing that to like border style none, create that to like border, and then I'll be changing that to like border width 100 pixel, create line height 100 pixel. And when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing width 100 pixel, create height 100 pixel, and then here I'll be writing that to a tag which will be like border none, create that to like outline which should be none, and here I'll be writing this style none. So just I'll be writing that, and you're done with that, just now here I'll be writing this style type none. So here when you've done that, just I'll be now writing flex direction column, and here I'll be writing that to a tag which should be like flex wrap which should be wrap reverse, and here I'll be writing flex flow column, create that to a tag which should be like flex basis content. Then I'll be writing a tag which should be like flex grow inherit, and when you've done that, just I'll be writing flex shrink inherit. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now writing direction inherit, create that to a tag which should be like now background. So just write that here which should be white, and here I'll be writing background color which should be white, create background position now. So just I'll be writing that which should be center, create background position X now which should be in center. So just I'll be writing that, and when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing that to a tag which should be like background position dash Y in center. Then I'll be writing background attachment which should be fixed. So here I'll be writing that. Then I'll be writing background size which should be covered. So here I'll be writing that, and then when you're done with that, just here I'll be writing background content box, create background. So I'll be writing that here which should be like background origin content box. Then here I'll be writing that to like background repeat which should be repeat, and here I'll be writing that to a tag which should be like background blend mode color band. And when you've done that, just I'll be now coming here writing that to a tag which should be like background, change that to background image having the URL here. Then I'll be writing this I'll be writing that to like background, and when you've done that, just if I move to top, you can see there it is written background 4. So here I'll be writing background 5.jpg, and here I'll be just closing this, and then I'll be writing nav index current, create that to now nav current, and here I'll be writing nav right current, and when you're done with that, just here I'll be writing that to like nav up which should be current, and when you've done that, just I'll be writing nav down current. So when you've done that, just here I'll be doing one thing line, here I'll be writing padding 15 pixel, here I'll be also writing that to like padding left 15 pixel, create padding right which should also be 15 pixel, and here I'll be writing padding top 15 pixel, and here I'll be writing padding bottom 15 pixel. So just write that here like margin 10 pixel, create margin left which should also be 10 pixel. When you're done with that, just I'll be writing margin right 10 pixel, create margin top 10 pixel, and when you're done with that, just I'll be writing margin bottom 10 pixel. So when you've done that, just I'll be going to file and pressing save. When you've done with that, just move to app.js file. Then I'll be just copying this address here which is just written after area class by pressing Ctrl C. So when you've done with that, just I'll be moving to app.css. You can see we have just done that. So here I'll be now coming underneath, writing that to dot and pasting my class name which I've just copied. Then I'll be writing this curly bracket coming underneath, writing that to like justify content in center, and here I'll be writing align item. So here I'll be writing align item in center, create that to like display which will be of block, create that to like text align in center, and then when you're done with that, just I'll be writing that to a tag which will be like display block, then I'll be changing that to like float into left, and here I'll be writing that to a tag which will be like box sizing. So I'll be just writing that to like border box. So when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing font style which will be normal, and when you're done with that, just I'll be writing text justify inherit, and here I'll be writing font size which will be 14 pixel, and here I'll be writing font weight which will be like 500, and when you're done with that, just I'll be writing font family which will be Montserrat, sans serif. Then when you're done with that, just I'll be writing border one big solid white, create border color which will be white, and here I'll be writing color black, and when you're done with that, just here I'll be writing border, then I'll be writing that to like border radius 10 pixel, create border, and here I'll be writing border left. So just I'll be changing that to like 100 pixel, create that to like border right 100 pixel, and when you're done with that, just here I'll be writing border top which will also be 100 pixel, and I'll be changing that to a tag which will be like border bottom 100 pixel, then I'll be writing that to like border style which will be none, create that to a tag which will be like border width 100 pixel, and then I'll be writing line height which will be 100 pixel, create that to a tag which will be width 100 pixel, create height which will be 100 pixel, then I'll be writing border which will be none, and here I'll be changing that to like outline none, create that to like list style none, and when you're done with that, just I'll be writing list style type none. So when you're done with that, just I'll be writing flex direction which will be column. So here when you've done that, just I'll be writing flex ref which will be ref reverse, then here I'll be writing flex flow column, create flex spaces which will be content, then I'll be writing that to a tag which will be like flex grow inherit, and here I'll be writing flex shrink inherit, then I'll be writing direction inherit. So when you're done with that, just now here I'll be writing background white, create background color. So just I'll be writing that which will be white. So when you've done with that, just you have to go to file and press save, and now here when you've just done with that all thing, just if I go to top, so you can see we have just defined address, and if I move to top again, you can see area is also defined, and we have also defined at the top like array. So if I scroll down here, you can see we have defined many things. So when you've done with that, just you have to do another thing like, so now here you can see till background color we have just defined. So when you've done with that thing, just I'll be coming underneath, writing that to like background position which will be in center, and when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing background position dash x which will be in center, and here I will be writing that to like background position dash y which will be also in center. So when you're done with that things, just I'll be coming underneath, writing that to like background size which will be cover, and then I'll be writing that to a tag which will be like background attachment which will be fixed, and when you're done with that thing, just I'll be now coming here, writing that to a tag which will be like background, and here I'll be changing that to like background origin content box, create that to like background clip. So just I'll be writing that here which will be like content box. Now when you're done with that, just here I'll be writing that like background blend mode which will be color burn, and here when you've done that, just I'll be now coming underneath, writing that to like background repeat which should be repeat. Here I'll be now writing background image, and here I'll be just writing the URL, and in this URL I'll be writing two quotes again, then writing background. If I move to top, you can see there it is written background 5.jpg. So here I'll be writing background 6.jpg. So here I'll be now closing that, coming underneath, writing nav index current, then I'll be writing that to like nav left which will also be current, and here I'll be changing that to like nav right current. So when you've done with that thing, just I'll be coming underneath, writing that to a tag which will be like nav, but before that I'll be just closing this nav left tag. So just close that here, then you have to just make nav up tag which will be current, create nav down which will also be current. So when you've done with that, just here I'll be doing one thing now, coming underneath, writing that to like padding which will be 15 pixels. So here I'll be writing create that to like padding left which will also be 15 pixel, create padding right which will be 15 pixel, and here I'll be writing padding top 15 pixels. So when you've done with that thing, just I'll be writing padding bottom 15 pixels, then I'll be writing margin 10 pixel, create that to a tag which should be like margin left 10 pixel, and here I'll be writing margin right 10 pixels. So when you're done with that, just I'll be writing margin top which will be 10 pixel, and here I'll be writing margin bottom which will also be 10 pixels. So when you're done with that thing, just go to file press save. And now when you've done with that thing, just you have to do another thing like go to app.js file again, then copy this import tag, you can see, which is just written here, by pressing Ctrl C. Then just move on to app.css file. Here I'll be coming underneath, then I'll be just writing dot here and pasting my class name which I've just copied. Now here I'll be writing curly bracket coming underneath, changing that to like justify content in center. Then here I'll be writing align items which should be in center, create that to like display which should be of block. And here when you're done with that, just I'll be writing that to like another tag which should be float into left. And then right here like another tag which should be like display which should be of block, which we have just already written. Now here I'll be writing text align in center, create that to a tag which should be like box sizing border box. And here I'll be writing font style normal. Then when you're done with that thing, just I'll be now writing text justify inherit. Then I'll be changing that to like font size which should be 15 pixel, create font weight here which should be like 600. And here I'll be writing font family which should be like Montserrat. Then here I'll be writing comma sans serif. And when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing border 1 pic solid white. And here I'll be changing that to a tag which should be like border color white. Then I'll be writing color black, so just write that. And when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing border radius 10 pixel, create that to like border left which should be like 100 pixel. And when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing border right 100 pixel. Then I'll be changing that to a tag which should be like border top 100 pixel. Then I'll be writing that to like border bottom 100 pixel. Now when you're done with that, just I'll be now changing that to like border width 100 pixel, create that to like line height which should also be 100 pixel. Then you're done with that, just right here like width 100 pixel, create height 100 pixel. And when you're done with that, just I'll be writing border which should be none, create that to a tag which should be like outline none. And here when you're done with that, just I'll be writing list style none, create that to like list style type which should be none. So when you're done with that, just I'll be coming underneath writing flex direction here which should be column, create that to like flex flow. So here I'll be writing that to like flex flow column, create flex basis content. Then I'll be changing that to like flex wrap which should be wrap revert. So here I'll be writing that. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing flex, and then I'll be changing that to like flex grow inherit. And when you're done with that, just I'll be writing flex shrink inherit, create that to like direction which should also be inherit. And when you're done with that, just here now I'll be writing background which should be white, create background color which should also be just white here. So when you're done with that, just here now I'll be writing background position in center. And when you're done with that, just here I'll be writing background position dash x which should be in center, create that to like background. And here I'll be writing background position dash y in center. And here I'll be changing that to a tag which should be like background attachment which should be fixed. So here I'll be writing that. And when you're done with that thing, just here I'll be writing background size cover. And then I'll be writing that to a tag which should be like background clip content box. So here I'll be writing that. And when you're done with that thing, just here I'll be writing background origin. So just I'll be writing that which should be content box. Then here I'll be writing background blend mode color band. So just I'll be writing that. And here I'll be coming underneath writing that to a tag which should be like background repeat which should be repeat, create that to a tag which should be like background image. Here I'll be writing URL in which I'll be writing that to like background. And if I just move to top, you can see here it is written background 6.jpg. So here now I'll be writing that to like background 7.jpg. So just write that here. When you're done with that, just now here I'll be closing that, writing that to like nav index which should be current, create that to another tag which should be like nav left current. So just I'll be writing that. And here I'll be writing nav right current. And when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing nav up current. And here I'll be changing that to like nav down which should also be current. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing padding 15 pixel, create that to like padding left 15 pixel, create here like padding right which should be 15 pixel. And here when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing padding top now. So just I'll be writing that 15 pixel. And here I'll be writing padding bottom which should also be 15 pixel. And here I'll be writing margin 10 pixel. And here I'll be changing that to like margin left 10 pixel. And when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing margin right 10 pixel, create margin top 10 pixel, and here I'll be writing that to our tag which should be like margin bottom 10 pixel. And when you've done with that thing, just go to file and press save. And now when you've done with that thing, just move to app.js file, then copy this floor tag by pressing Ctrl C, go to app.css file, then I'll be just coming underneath, and then here I'll be writing dot, pasting my class name which I've just copied, writing this curly brackets, and coming underneath here, writing here like justify content in center, create that to like align items which should be in center. And here I'll be just changing that to a tag which should be like text align in center. Then I'll be doing one thing, like here I'll be writing display which should be of block, so just I'll be writing that. Then here I'll be changing that to like float into left, so just I'll be writing that. And when you're done with that, just I'll be writing box sizing border box, and here I'll be writing font style normal. And when you've done that, just I'll be writing text justify inherit. Then when you're done with that, just here I'll be writing font size 40 pixel, create that to like font weight 500. And when you're done with that thing, just I'll be writing font family Montserrat, comma sans serif. And here I'll be writing that to like border 1 pix solid white, so here I'll be writing that. And when you're done with that thing, just here I'll be writing border color white, create color black. And when you're done with that thing, just here I'll be writing border radius 10 pixel. Then I'll be changing that to like border left 100 pixel. Then when you've done that, just I'll be writing border right 100 pixel, create border top which should also be 100 pixel. When you've done with that thing, just here I'll be writing border bottom 100 pixel, and here I'll be writing that to like border style none, create a tag which should be like border width 100 pixels. So when you're done with that thing, just I'll be doing one thing like line height 100 pixel, then I'll be writing width 100 pixel, create that to like height which should be 100 pixel. Then I'll be writing that to like border which should be none, create that to like outline which should be none. And here I'll be writing list style none. And when you're done with that thing, just here I'll be writing list style type none. So when you're done with that thing, just here I'll be writing flags direction which should be like column. And here I'll be also writing that to like flags rep which should be app reverse. And here I'll be writing that to like flags row column, create that to a tag which should be like flags basis content. And here I'll be writing flags grow which should be inherit. And here I'll be writing flag shrink inherit. So when you've done with that thing, just here I'll be writing direction inherit. And when you've done that, just I'll be saving that here. And when you've done with that thing, just you have to do nothing, just save that. And you can see we have just done that all things. And now when you've done with that, just here we don't have to just use Firebase like a friendly use. So if I just show you in Google Chrome, our social media marketing tool should be just ready, which we just want. We have also made the nav bar with the help of the above styling tool. If I show you, here it is the styling tool. With the help of that, we have just made the nav bar. Then here we have just made with the help of that button things, like we are getting the hover effect and many other things in that. Then with the help of that, we are just make the like background color and many other things here. And you can see we are just also, when I'm hovering on that, you can see there it is a social media management tool here. So here I'll be saving that. And when you've done that, just if I show you in Google Chrome, and you can see here it is our social media management marketing tool, you can say, which is just ready here, which is named with the help of Hootsuite, like I've shown you at the starting when we are just working with demo one. You can see we are getting our logo, then we are getting this heading like that. Then if I'm just hovering on this platform, I'm just getting my feature, additional features, then network and integrations which we want. And we are also getting our plans and resources. But in plans, I have not put any of the drop down. If you want to, you can do that just simply when you have just done that all. And here you can see we are also getting the resources, and then Hootsuite Academy social media education you can do. And you can also view resources here by pressing this. Then we are getting the above navbar, and we are also getting start scheduling button here. When we press, so it will be taken to other page, then the login. And we are also getting these things like that, like different landing page you can say it is. And this is the logo thing which I just take. You can also take that from any simple website. And you can see we are also getting the compare plans in that. You can see we are also getting this effect here. If I just refresh, we'll be also getting our animation in our words which we are just having. First of all, you can see we are having our animation here, which is just looking really good. So like that you can work with. I'll be refreshing it again. Then if I move down, you can see our React animation is just appearing and it is looking really good. You can see we are also getting these things. And here also, and we are also getting these things here, you can see. Then we are also getting our language change, you can do that by pressing this language and you can change that. We are also getting our copyright section, then Google Play App Store. We are also getting the links here, you can link with your own which you are having. Then we are getting loved by 18 plus millions of the world as social marketers, you can do that. Then we have also just written the button and compare plans. If I show you, if going to inspect, because it was just responsive like I've shown you at the demo, you can see here it is also responsive one. We are getting all the things responsively, you can see the image, then the words. We are also getting this image and every image which we have just put, and words which is in responsive effect, you can see that. So here if I hit refresh now, then it will be also appearing all the words here, you can see that in responsively. So you can see how cool looking is that our social media marketing management tool which we have just made with React.js. You can see that we are also getting our links and then copyright section in the end of responsive. So just like that, you can just build your own social media marketing management tool in React.js. So I hope you understand this project, and I hope you also enjoy this project like in the previous project of React.js, Python, of AI and data science. So just practice at all project we are working with, and I hope you'll be a good programmer of that. So here I'll be just uploading some of the React clones and some of the React projects also, because it will be really helpful. And I've also previously made some of the apps of React, you can check that out, and I'll be also uploading some of the React apps in future, and I hope it will be really helpful for you. So just I'll be meeting you next project. So for today, goodbye.